Mr. Parks, are you ready at this time? Okay, now we will defer to Mr. Parks for presentation.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, today we're here to honor the 2013 EmpowerLA awardees. The winners of this process were selected by the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners at their special meeting on September 9th. They received a total of 45 nominations for projects that simplify the mission of the neighborhood councils to engage in local stakeholders with government and make government more accountable and responsive to the needs of the community. It's important to acknowledge these neighborhood councils play an important role in our communities as they work to engage community members and work with the city to address local needs. Recognizing these neighborhood councils for the outstanding work that they do and applauding their commitment will only enhance positive perceptions of their work while providing more community engagement and sharing best practices and encouraging high standards. There is so much work going on across the neighborhood council system that should be duly noted, and to recognize the exemplary efforts of the winners of the 2013 EmpowerLA Awards is another testament of the great contribution of the neighborhood council system. Therefore, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the 10 2013 EmpowerLA recipients. And the first one, we'd like to ask Council District 1 to come up and to acknowledge their historic Highland Park Neighborhood Council. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Parks.
Mr. Cedillo.
Come on. The outdoor movie nights at the Highland Park Recreation Center serve as a great family-friendly event for the community. Small Business Mixer provided Highland Park's businesses an opportunity to network and share ideas. The candidate forums encourage civic participation amongst community members. The outreach strategy through social media is also engaging a newer generation of activists in the community, increased presence in the community. This all comes from the historic Highland Park Neighborhood Council. We're very, very proud of them. You want me to come up and join them?
We have the neighborhood council come join me.
Yes, where's Monica? Ever present Monica, where are you? There she is. Hector, is he here? All right, Hector. And Aaron Sacedo.
Thank you so much.
All right. So I'm very proud, Mr. President, of this neighborhood council, their initiative. They're very organic, they're very authentic, they're really reflective of Highland Park today and its future. They've done a great job, particularly this movies and helping us some of the cleanup and the other stuff. We've quickly woven them into our outreach strategies, and they are part and parcel of everything we do to serve our district, and so I want to just acknowledge them and applaud you.
Thank you.
And we have a certificate for you. Go right ahead and say something, please.
Oh, I just want to thank everybody for helping us out, and again, the previous council and Mr. Cedillo, and as well as Weezer. He's also part of we're also in his district. Highland Park is broken up into 2 districts. And again, I just want to thank all of the board members, Hector, Araceli, Gretchen, Aaron. We are really a team, so they've made this happen. It's not one person, it's a team effort. Thank you.
Are you excited?
Congratulations. Give them another round of applause. Mr. Parks, is Mr. Buscaino next? Or?
He is next.
Mr. Buscaino?
He's next to honor the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council.
Come on up, Ray. Thank you, Mr. Parks. It's a great honor to recognize our San Pedro, Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council for their efforts in raising awareness on youth employment in our district and beyond. It was an honor to work with the Neighborhood Council in promoting the youth employment fair. We had it at San Pedro High School, the John Olguin campus, and this is the third year? Their second year in teaching our youth and preparing them for employment, how to dress for an interview, how to write an essay, and getting them prepared for employment once they graduate high school. I want to recognize the president of the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council, Ray Regalado, to say a few words. Ray, come on up.
I'd like to thank all the support that we received from Councilman Buscaino's office in being able to put this important event on. If I can say that our intent is to prepare young people for employment, and we actually had young people get jobs from this thing. So we're hoping that our next effort is going to be bigger, and we're going to get more people employed, but very much so and get them prepared for for what's coming up next in their lives. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are you going to take them to the back? Yes, sir. Come on back. Come on back. Grab your purses.
Next, would ask Council District 12 that will represent the North Ridge West Neighborhood Council.
Mr. Englander.
I'm not sure if they made it down here yet or not. I am the furthest from City Hall, and it's a trek, and there's a lot of traffic. I know they're on their way if they're not here yet, but I will thank them publicly in any event. And the Northridge West Neighborhood Council, like many of the neighborhood councils we've got, their volunteer efforts are extraordinary, donating their time, their skill sets, their resources, their network, organizing community events, coordinating public education campaigns, and developing new and exciting programs for the community. This neighborhood council is extremely unique in what they've done, in fact, and truly deserving of this recognition. For the past 3 years, if you can imagine this, every Thursday, rain or shine, no matter what the weather, without fail, they've conducted a weekly cleanup along the public right-of-ways. They've actually gone out in the streets and swept gutters, picking up leaves, debris off sidewalks, weed abatement on parkways, trimming overhead branches, all on behalf of the community. With all this discussion about parkways today that we're going to have, it's fitting to recognize the Northridge West Neighborhood Council for their efforts in cleaning up the community and beautifying the community. Their consistent cleanup efforts have also been a great example about how our city can partner with neighborhood councils. The tools are provided by the Office of Community Beautification, arborists from the Urban Forestry providing tree care advice, coordinating the Bureau of Sanitation to pick up 30-plus bags of trash and debris every single week, working with our street use investigators to report illegal dumping and reduce blight, and so much more. So I'd like to thank them, their entire board. Their cleanup efforts have launched Northridge Sparkle, where all the businesses now have gotten together to promote it as well and put signs up to clean up in front of their businesses, and it's inspired a lot of other neighborhood councils to do the same. I'd also like to thank Reseda and recognize them, and I know Bob's going to be up, I believe, to talk about Reseda Neighborhood Council. We do share a portion of Reseda, and I'd like to congratulate 2 neighborhood councils for winning this in my district, and thank Mr. Parks for bringing all of them forward as well. Thank you very much.
Our next, we'd ask Mr. Weston to come up and honor the Empowerment Congress West Area Neighborhood Development Council.
Okay, you know what, Mr. Labange, so if I could have Sorrow and the Empowerment Congress West meet me at the podium. You brought my photographer? Thank you, Mr. President and members. I really have to thank Mr. Parks for overseeing this. I think it's important that we recognize all of the good work that so many of our neighborhood councils do in this city. So first I want to chat a moment about Empowerment Council West that I recently inherited. The relationship that we have cultivated over these past several months has been fantastic. I have visited this neighborhood council on 3 occasions, and I think I owe you one more visit. But what a lot of people don't know is that they were instrumental in working with other neighborhood councils in dealing with a situation that many of us thought was going to be simple but was really challenging, and that was to move the space shuttle from the airport area to its current and final stop. So they're the ones that worked with other neighborhood councils and cut deals where for every tree we would cut down, we replace it with 4. If it weren't for their good work, I don't believe that our community would have benefited as much as I believe it will because of the work of these individuals. So could we please give them a round of applause? And I would like to present you with a certificate recognizing you for all of the outstanding work that you've done. Again, members, acknowledge them. They are a great neighborhood council. I'm glad to have them in the district I'm blessed to represent. Empowerment Congress West.
Thank you, Mr. Weston.
Okay,
Another?
now as you can see, not only am I joined by a neighborhood council that I've had the pleasure to work with since the day that I was elected, but I'm also joined by the individual that I share this neighborhood council with, Mr. Koretz. I will not ask them to select one of us as their favorite. We are joint favorites. We are joint favorites of Soro, and it's been a pleasure to work with Paul in trying to help Soro, one of the most forward-thinking neighborhood councils, at least in the area that I represent. Whenever the Council District 10 has needed anything, they have been there and partnered with us, and I could run off a long list. But one thing I do want to mention is the movies in the park that we have every year that they have helped sponsor, they have helped pay for, but they're smart. Every event they do, they use it to try to increase the ranks of the neighborhood council, and I'm just blessed to have them. Whenever there's an issue in the district, you can quickly call them together, and they're there to try to help you make things better. I'm going to ask Mr. Koretz if he'd like to say a few words, because if I didn't ask him that, he'd elbow me off the mic.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to take this opportunity to recognize Soro, which is a combination of several of our neighborhoods in the area that I grew up and went to school in, Palms, Beverlywood, Pico Robertson. They've done an amazing job, and they've really created sort of a brand for the area, which I think has been important to try and bring up the area. They've done a tremendous festival. They've done banners. They've done a lot of great things to unify this neighborhood. And so in recognition, I wanted to present this to Doug Fitzsimmons, the president of this organization, and thank all of you for your great work.
There's Doug. Okay, now I also want to say something about Doug. I believe Doug has been the leader of this council, I think, almost ever since I was elected. He's always here. He was just here a few weeks ago when we had brought in all of the neighborhood councils. Terry Gones in the back, who lives in my district, has been an influential member on the council. But Doug is the kind of leader that the community loves, Sorrow loves. So, Doug, what they wanted me to do is not only present you with a certificate of recognition for Sorrow, but they thought that based on your extraordinary service that we should have one specifically for you, and Marge knows where she's going to hang it. So thank you, Mr. Parks. Thank you, everyone. Give it up for Sorrow and Empowerment Council West. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Taking pictures.
Our next presenter will be CD3 for the Reseda Neighborhood Council.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Parks. If I could ask the Reseda Neighborhood Council folks to come up with me. I am really pleased to present the Reseda Neighborhood Council with the EmpowerLA Award. It is a very vital and amazing neighborhood council, and I'm just thrilled that they can have this award. You know, in 2011, they were discussing some of the economic problems that the entire region was impacted by, and particularly Reseda has been really hit hard by the economy. And after researching several successful small business development efforts across the country, they launched on their own the Spend $25 on the 25th and Reseda program, which caught the attention of citywide Shop LA program and American Express, both of which then partnered with them to create Shop Reseda. In conjunction with these efforts, the Shop Reseda discount card was launched at a national news conference and now includes over 200 local business partners. Just a great example of when people get their heads together and say, we've got a problem, a community problem in our district, we're going to solve it together and find solutions. We're not going to wait for the outside world to solve our problems. The concept of shopping local has successfully encouraged a lasting sense of community pride and spirit, as well as encouraging more participants in Reseda's local economy to engage in the neighborhood council process and in the greater city of Los Angeles. I've known and worked with the Reseda Neighborhood Council for many years, from my days in the Assembly, even before then. In fact, just this Monday, I was speaking with the Neighborhood Council as part of just the regular process of reaching out to neighborhood councils. The Reseda Neighborhood Council has been, for many years, the gold standard in Los Angeles for neighborhood councils. And this award not only reflects that, but it is well deserved. And so I want to congratulate all of you here in the Reseda Neighborhood Council. I see I have Kevin Taylor, Fran Piazza, and Hank Trixillo all here, and I want to present to you, I have certificates for all of the Neighborhood Council members, but I want to give you guys yours right here. Hank, Kevin.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
I think you got the executive orders. Let me, Fran, can get the receipt.
All right, and Fran, I'm going to give you the Reseda Neighborhood Council one. So stand here, we'll do a picture. Great. And we can go to the back and do some pictures. Thank you very much.
You want to make a quick comment?
Yes, and Kevin, if you're the president of the Reseda Neighborhood Council, if you would make a few quick comments, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Blumenfield. I want to say thanks to the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners for recognizing us and for you guys having us here today. Especially want to make a comment about the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, or EmpowerLA, for being such great support to us, and we get such excellent support. I also want to thank all of my fellow community advocates here in this room. It's great to see council chambers full of people who care about their communities. I want to encourage all of you to join your neighborhood councils. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I'm going to substitute for Councilman Huizar. We'd like to have the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council come up at this time to receive their honor.
Pick those tags out so I won't get pictures.
Yes, sir.
Okay. They're going to be honored today. This charge group had a string on the public policy successes, most notably the opening of the Spring Street Park between 4th and 5th Street, as well as 2 parklets along the same corridor. And what is so great is that they are working with all of the populations in downtown. For example, organizing a high-level town hall on the TB outbreak of a few months ago, an ongoing Skid Row residents-led cleanup campaign to address needs of Skid Row. They're helping vulnerable homeless populations the most powerful ways through direct engagement, involvement, and empowerment. We have their certificates. Who's the president?
I am.
Okay, why don't you come up?
Well, I am sorry that Jose Huizar can't be here today because he has been a wonderful help to us with all of these projects. I know he's got some family issues now that are keeping him away. But I thank all of you for this. We really try. We really try to get some things done, and we can't do it if we're not partnered with you. I will just say what I always say, and that is to everybody who's not involved with your neighborhood council, don't stand around waiting for the city to do what you want it to do. Get out there and make sure it gets done.
Let me give you this on behalf of the 14th. And if you go in, we're going to go in the back and take pictures, but I got to do 3 more presentations. Be right back. Thank you very much. And then what I'd like to do now is ask, we have 3 neighborhood councils from the 8th District, and I'd like to ask Park Mesa Heights Community Council, the Empowerment Congress Central Area Neighborhood Development Council, and the Empowerment Congress North Area Neighborhood Development Council to come up at this time.
Let's give them a round of applause and congratulations to you, Mr. Parks, and the 8th District. 3 great neighborhood councils.
Okay. Let me go through just a brief assessment of their accomplishments. I'm proud to announce that 3 of the Council District 8 neighborhood councils, Park Mesa, the Empowerment Congress of Central, Empowerment Congress North, are among the 2013 EmpowerLA Award winners in the South region and received their awards at the Congress of Neighborhood Councils on September the 28th. The South area worked together on a joint project regarding the Space Shuttle Endeavor coming to Los Angeles. They created a Space Shuttle task force and mitigated the negative impact on the historic event in the neighborhood, spearheading negotiations that reduced the number of trees to be cut down by hundreds and reached the agreement that included 4 trees replaced in each of the 250 trees cut in the development of both the park and the tree master plan. The South Los Angeles $400,000 for tree trimming, 1,000 feet of linear sidewalk repair, 10 scholarships per year for 5 years. The Neighborhood Council area youth to attend the Science Center programs, and 5 professional developments from teachers in South LA within the next 3 years. Do we have the... Let me get this.
We have some narrative for the other 2.
And so we'd like to have Mr. Thomas to come up for Hyde Park to speak, and then we have the presidents of the other 2.
Good morning. I just want to thank the council for inviting us here this morning and the Empowerment Congress. And I really like to thank our board members. We have a good board, and we were able to work together with other neighborhood councils. I appreciate working with them. We can be able to accomplish many more things. Thank you.
Hello, I'm with the Empowerment Congress North area. I want to take the opportunity to thank Councilman Bernard Parks and the City Council for this recognition. We are located where the 10 and the 110 meet around University Park and Exposition Park. And again, I want to echo, encourage you to join your neighborhood council. We really need to make sure that we, have our voices heard. And thank you again. Thank you all to my colleagues.
On behalf of Empowerment Congress Central, we'd like to say thank you for recognizing us on our accomplishments as we work together as a team. We'd like to thank the council and our Councilman Parks and the Empowerment Done. Thank you.
We're going to go in the back and take photos. Thank you very much. And want to just say thank you to all the neighborhood councils, and we certainly wanted to honor them, even though they've received their awards at a prior event. But before we close it down, I'd like to ask two of our neighborhood commissioners come up, Ms. Mack and Ms. Grant, and also ask Gracie Liu, our general manager, to come up at this time.
Good morning, Council. Can we just give one more round of applause to all the great work for neighborhood councils by everybody in the... I'm representing the commission and the staff. I don't know if, Gracie, you want to say anything, but I can share, I can say for my fellow commissioners that we feel like we have the best commission because we get to go around the city seeing all of this great work that's happening all the time across the city, and we know that neighborhood councils make a difference, and it's my belief that civic engagement is the key to building a great Los Angeles. And so you've seen the best of the best here, and our goal is to really share those best practices and support neighborhood councils in being the best they can be so that we can realize our greatness as a city. And so with that, I just want to thank Councilmember Parks and the rest of you. I mean, this is so beautiful today. When we started the awards last year, our goal was to raise the visibility and to get neighborhood councils a recognition for all the work that they're doing. And so, you know, I just can't think of a better and more fitting way for them to be acknowledged by the council people that they're working with. And so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for my fellow commissioners for taking the time this morning to recognize all of the hard work that neighborhood councils are doing, and that these particular neighborhood councils are doing in their neighborhoods. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Krikorian, Mr. Parks, if I could interrupt for 1 minute. Mr. Krikorian wanted to say a few words, and then we'll go back.
Thanks, Mr. President. Just briefly, I love these awards, and I just wanted to thank Chairman Parks and, of course, our great commissioners on Bonk and General Manager Gracie Liu. This demonstration that we've had today of the great service of these neighborhood councils that are receiving these awards is representative of the work of the unsung heroes of 95 neighborhoods throughout Los Angeles. And it's important that everybody who's here on other issues, I think, understands the work that our neighborhood councils put in. Because just a few years ago, just an eye blink ago, really, this city was in danger of being torn apart by secession movements in the San Fernando Valley, in San Pedro, in Hollywood. People who felt like they were disenfranchised from their city government, that City Hall wasn't listening to them. And the neighborhood council movement and the 95 neighborhood councils who've been formed since then give voice to our neighborhoods and our communities. It's a vehicle for activism that really works in engaging neighborhoods in partnership with city government. So if you want to have a say in what City Hall does, if you want to have a say in how your neighborhoods are represented here in this council chamber, one of the best ways you can do it is by getting involved in your neighborhood councils as a candidate for a board, or just as a stakeholder going out and supporting the work that's being done by the boards of your neighborhood councils. So I urge you to go to the EmpowerLA website, find out more about getting involved in your neighborhood council, and thank you all for being here and helping us to celebrate the great leadership that we're getting in all of our communities through our neighborhood council movement.
I would just like to say thank you to everybody who's been working in support of the neighborhood council system. I would recommend anybody who can hear this to please attend at least one of your community's neighborhood council meetings so that you can share with your community the things that your neighborhood council is working on. And our elections are coming up, so we're looking for new people, and we would love to have you join our neighborhood councils. The website for The department is EmpowerLA.org. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parks, and again, congratulations.